Hey guys, so as we wrap up 2025 and move on to 2026, I want to make a quick video about patent budgets and prices for our 2026 outlook. The USPTO, it seems like their most recent data is from fiscal year 2022 because this is from a recent announcement that they made in December 2025. But the USPTO alleges that at least in 2022, it cost US practitioners between $8,000 and $12,000 to draft a patent application. At least that's what the practitioners charged in 2022. I think that you'd be very hard pressed in 2026 to find a reputable domestic practitioner to charge anything less than $12,000 for a patent application. There's simply a lot of risk of malpractice. The malpractice lasts for the life of the patent, which is 20 years. And while AI definitely helps to offset some of the inflation costs, AI isn't perfect and requires a lot of oversight and review to make sure that it's not hallucinating stuff and that it is doing stuff that is appropriate for patent applications. Because like I said, they have to be darn near perfect for the whole 20-year lifespan to avoid malpractice from a practitioner standpoint. So it requires a lot of diligence and experience. As far as responses go, the USPTO alleges that in 2022, it costs about $3,000 to $3,500 to file a response or at least have a practitioner involved there. I think that that's probably true for some mechanical cases still in 2026, but for AI cases in which you throw in a bunch of 101 issues, which like say mechanical cases don't deal with, and when you have 3 and 4 reference, 103 rejections, it can double the amount of time that the practitioner has to spend on that response, and therefore that response rate can kind of double from $3,000 to closer to $5,000 or $6,000. It depends on your technology though. There's other fees here that it talks about, but I want to mention that the USPTO hasn't been shy about increasing their fees either. So I think that dependent claims over 20 used to be $100, but I think that in 2025 or maybe it was 2024, they bumped it up to $200. So in some cases, you're seeing double the fees from the USPTO. So while practitioner rates are going up marginally, I'd say in 2026, it's not at all equated to what the USPTO is doing in some cases. I didn't want to just accept that old 2022 data from the USPTO though, so I typed into Google, how much does it cost to draft patent application 2025? Google alleges between 5 and 17,000. I think that for most cases, you're looking at a tighter range of about 12,000 to 17,000. For most cases, it can kind of skyrocket up to 25 or 30 if you have like high end, AI complexity cases. But for most people, I'd say between 12 and 17 is what you're looking at to file or to have a practitioner draft a application. Bing seems to indicate the same stuff, between $10,000 and $20,000. Again, I'd say, between 12 and 17 for most utility patents. Design chat patents are a lot cheaper. I'd say, this $1,500 to $3,000 rate is pretty accurate for design patents. So, let me know what you think about these rates. I mean, what are people thinking about patent fees and costs, and, is it worth it in 2026? Thanks.